With me here I have Keith Twitchell from the Ancient Coin Collectors Guild, and we are at the New York International Convention in New York, and it's January 19th today. Keith, tell the audience who you are and what you do.
So I'm the executive director of the Ancient Coin Collectors Guild, and the Guild is an organization that really fights to preserve the rights of ancient coin collectors in the United States. We are challenged very greatly right now by ever-increasing restrictions from the United States Department of State that enters into agreements with foreign countries to ostensibly to preserve cultural and historical sites in these nations and to prevent looting. The problem is that the original act that governs these MOUs has now been just not officially, but in practice, expanded greatly. It was never intended to include ancient coins, but we're now looking even at possible blanket restrictions on the importing of Roman imperial coins, which, as everybody knows, exist by the hundreds of thousands, indeed the millions. But the State Department is not really able to distinguish between coins like that and then things that are, genuine, important pieces of a nation's cultural heritage. So we're working to try and get these restrictions dialed back, and also we are working with legislation before the new Congress here to put the burden on customs to prove that an item was taken illegally or was not something that should be imported, whereas right now customs is putting that burden on collectors and dealers. So it's an important issue for the future of our hobby.
Yeah, so what you in essence are telling that you are not guilty unproven otherwise. That should be the direction to go.
Yeah, currently if you're bringing in, even just a common Roman coin from Italy, you can be asked to prove that the coin was purchased legally and was not looted, and all these things. That how do you prove a negative?
Exactly.
And what we have legislation actually already introduced in Congress, and we're also probably going to try to attach it to a Senate bill about customs that's going to just say, here's a form, you just attest to its legality, and if customs thinks otherwise, they have to prove it.
Yeah, exactly. And the customs don't really know anything about the coins to begin with.
No, they just see it's on a list, and they don't know it. They can't tell a common bronze of Constantine the Great from an aureus of Julius Caesar.
Exactly. So tell me a little bit more about your background and your passion for the ancient numismatics.
Well, I got interested in the ancient world when I was about 9 years old, and my parents gave me sort of junior versions of the Iliad and the Odyssey to read, and I loved them.
Yeah.
And I've always been interested in ancient history, but it wasn't until about 25 years ago that I actually found out you can actually buy and hold in your own hand ancient coins. So that was the late 90s, and I've been a collector ever since. I ran a nonprofit organization in New Orleans for about 18 years, so I have some background in organizational management. I'm actually a writer by trade, but so when the ACCG needed someone to step in, I said, okay, I'll do it.
Okay, so what do you write, the trade, what is that?
For my professional work, I write for a couple magazines in New Orleans. I've written a few articles for The Numismatist about coins. I like writing. I'm good at it, and it's fun to do.
Yeah.
And of course, I write a lot of communications for the organization as we try to, combat the messaging from some of the opponents who, there are people on the archaeological community side who just think that there should never be any private ownership of any artifact ever. And that's crazy. That interferes with people's learning. It interferes with people's cultural exchange. It interferes with education. That's just a silly point of view, to be honest.
Yeah, and my main point about Rome is that we are immersed in the legacy of the Roman Empire. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, the Roman Empire, of course, as we know, covered a huge territory. And it is along with ancient Greece, the basis of Western civilization. The Roman Empire really belongs to all of us.
Yeah.
And so to say that, oh no, only, you know, only coins found in Italy should stay in Italy, and first off, how do you prove it was found in Italy in the first place, since Roman coins have been found, you know, from like Denmark to Pakistan?
Exactly.
So yeah, that's a global heritage and a global history and legacy, and it belongs to all of us.
Exactly. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Tell me a little bit more about the Ancient Coin Collectors Guild.
So the ACCG was founded by Wayne Sales, who's a very famous collector and dealer, created the Salator magazine for a while. He founded it in 1982 as the beginnings of this creep towards banning the importing of coins began, and unfortunately the problem has only grown more urgent ever since. So we work with groups like IAPN, the International Association of Professional Numismatists, to just to try and bring some reason into these conversations. You know, I really want to make the point that ancient coin collectors strongly support the preservation of ancient historical and cultural sites and the cultural and history of individual nations. We just think that it needs to be done in an effective way. One thing we've been really active with over the past year is trying to inform people about the British approach, their portable antiquities scheme, which requires any finds of ancient items to be brought to the government. But if the government says, you know, this is common stuff, then the finder is able to keep it. If the government says, no, this is something we want for museums, they pay a fair price for it. The result is, when items are found, they're turned in, they're not hidden, they don't go on the black market, and so legitimate history is served and advanced and preserved, and the rights of collectors are equally preserved and respected.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I agree with the English thing of doing this, and I think that would open up for a better understanding of how to deal with the coins and or the fines.
If we could get that approach adopted worldwide,
yes, exactly,
we would achieve the very important goals that these MOUs and all that are supposed to achieve but are not achieving. Denmark, I think, recently adopted something very similar, so it's finally beginning to spread a little bit.
Yeah. So, any final words for the audience?
We would love, if you are an ancient coin collector and you're watching this, we'd love to have you join our organization and be part of the effort. We also do a lot to inform collectors about interesting topics. This coming week, we're going to do a webinar about President John Quincy Adams, who was an ancient coin collector. So we have a lot of fun and interesting stuff, as well as this epic struggle to preserve our hobby.
Okay, so I will put the link to your organization, or to put your email address in the link below, so people can contact you directly.
Great, and the website is accguild.org.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot for your participation in the channel.
Great. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
I hope you find this video interesting, and to help others with a historical and or numismatic interest watch this video, please like, share, comment and subscribe. It is free to subscribe, and you don't commit to anything, nor will you receive any unwanted emails or offers from me. And you can, whenever you want, end your subscription. By subscribing, liking and sharing, you help YouTube's and Google's algorithms to rank up this video, and thus make it easier for others with a similar interest to view this video. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell to get notified when I publish new video on YouTube. Thank you for watching.